Today we're in Belleville, New Jersey at Vac-U-Max, which makes industrial vacuum cleaning systems and pneumatic conveying systems. This is made in America.
Vac-U-Max is an American manufacturer of industrial equipment for the powder handling industry. Based in Belleville, New Jersey, the company specializes in pneumatic conveyance and industrial vacuum cleaners. Their technology has been used in everything from moving materials so small that you can't even feel it between your fingers to cleaning up the New York City subway system. The company has tested and worked with 10,000 different materials. It started, as many companies do, with a solution to a problem.
We started in 1954. We've moved several times within the same town of Belleville, New Jersey. So we are a New Jersey company. New Jersey people work here, and we use a lot of New Jersey subcontractors and suppliers. In the textile mills of North Jersey, where there were safety problems and productivity problems with the old technology, with lint and textile products floating around the factory. There was an explosion hazard if there was static discharge, and the productivity problem was in the old machinery that was gear and chain driven. Those filings, those lint materials would bind up the chains and drives. The problem was that they needed a way to effectively and safely clean that machinery.
The company was born on the world's first vacuum that uses compressed air. In the company's 65-year history, the technology has been used in many challenging manufacturing environments that pose a lot of unique problems. It's been used to safely move everything from combustible dusts, extremely abrasive materials, or materials that just don't float, like milk powders or materials used in the 3D printing industry, which are typically very heavy.
Yeah, the fun part of our business is that we are involved in so many different industries that they each pose different problems. In some industries like pharmaceutical or cosmetic, the powder particle sizes are so small that you can't even feel them between your fingertips.
David Kennedy, Business Development Manager at Vac-U-Max, has been with the company for 25 years. According to David, Vac-U-Max remains committed to American manufacturing because it's the foundation of our economy.
So manufacturing is a critical part of our economy. It provides good living for people. It allows us to have high quality, and we feel like we're doing the right thing.
The industrial vacuum cleaner helped launch the company. It was the first and only product for about 15 years. That's when they saw a local chemical company using one of Vac-U-Max's industrial vacuums to convey ordnance materials. In 1965, that company asked the vacuum cleaner pros to take one of their machines and find a better way to move powders around industrial manufacturing plants. The company has been a leader in bulk material handling ever since. Really, the situation still happens a lot today, where customers come to them with applications that they've been unable to solve. And while the company has yet to run into a material that it hasn't been able to move, that doesn't mean that it hasn't been challenged. As a matter of fact, the Metropolitan Transit Authority and New York City Transit recently came to Vac-U-Max with a unique proposal.
It was for the city of New York, for their subway systems, cleaning the tracks, and they needed equipment that was cord-free, if you will, or cordless. So it needed to run on battery technology, and we developed a product from a clean sheet of paper to a lithium-ion battery-powered vacuum cleaner. For me, there's never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment is an understatement. Kennedy will be testing new candy products in the morning and working with aerospace giants in the afternoon. Vac-U-Max is a fourth-generation family company founded by Frank Pendleton, who developed the first air-powered vacuum cleaner prototype out of a wash basin and some off-the-shelf parts. While the world's first industrial vacuum has gotten a lot larger and more sophisticated, it still relies on the same basic principle.
Like a lot of products, they're made from hardware parts, hardware store parts. It was successful in the textile industry despite a lot of naysayers who said it wouldn't work, and it has worked.
Recently, the company has run into a new challenge presented by the shifting culture. Namely, they're working with the new generation that thinks they can find everything online. According to Kennedy, that's just not true for the powder handling industry. You need to rely on history and experience. Otherwise, the consequences can be dire, as many of these materials are combustible. I mean, just look at the thousands of jars around the shop, and you know that the company has the history and the experience.
New generations think that you can find everything on Google. And basically what we're telling them is that in the powder handling industry, you need to rely on history and experience when you're looking for a partner to work on for a powder handling project. When you're looking for a company to partner with to handle powders, this is not something that you can find all of the solutions on the internet. This is where you really need experience to make projects successful. So we like to refer to this as our family tree, our genetics, our history. This is where these are our credentials.
VacuumX has tested more than 10,000 different materials over 65 years. Some of it's exciting, like when they work with new products that have yet to hit the market, but a lot of it isn't safe and can be explosive if not handled properly.
Well, some of the things you find on the internet are terribly unsafe that people are doing.
Inside the company's test lab, VacuumX tests new materials and products. They built it so they have anything they need to mimic their customers' requirements. The test lab has actually come a long way over the years.
Product quality and cross-contamination are big issues for all industries. So the equipment does have to be easy to clean. We learn things when we have to work on them ourselves. The first test lab was sort of a railway apartment. It was really small, just a couple blocks away from here. So we have increased in our ability for distances. So we can run 300 feet of tubing within this test lab. We have the ability to store more materials. We have more power than we ever had. In the original test lab, we had just Venturi power units as our vacuum producer. Now we have vacuum pumps up to 30 horsepower for testing. We do encourage customers. We may insist sometimes that we want to run the material so that we can get our own hands on it, not just by paper or photograph descriptions. So customers will send us pallet loads, bulk bags, drums of their material. We will set up our tubing network up to 6-inch diameter for the lengths and a number of elbows that we need to try to duplicate their conditions. And then we'll run the material, we'll test it, we'll verify that we're getting the rate we need, and sometimes we retest. We learn things, but that's how we get customers to have confidence in what we're selling.
VacuumX has thrived for nearly 70 years because it evolves to meet customer needs. And as they visit new customers, they find that they're looking for productivity improvements, food-safe operations, faster production lines, especially as old equipment is coming offline, as well as data management and automation. All of this while particle sizes continue to get smaller, causing issues with filtration and worker safety. Some of these materials are so small, Kennedy says it's like handling smoke.
So as new technology brings new materials into the marketplace, they bring other problems with them. We have handled metal powders that are 300 or 400 or 500 pounds a cubic foot, and we've handled materials that are virtually like smoke, where you can't feel it between your fingertips. It's so fine and so light.
Some companies haven't had an accident as long as they've been open, but new regulations change the way that jobs are done, and sometimes change can be difficult.
It's sort of like seat belts. Sometimes change is difficult.
VacuumX has 70 employees, a lot of people like David Kennedy, who have been with the company for 25 years or more. While it has been difficult to remain committed to American manufacturing, the company has always remained committed to its employees and the community.
This is IEN, Made in America.